Hey guys, Graham here from therecordingrevolution.com with another 5 minutes to a better mix video for you. We're looking at 31 mixing tips in 31 days. In this video, I want to talk to you about LCR mixing or LCR panning. Now, I'm going to be honest about this. I was never using this technique until recently. And that's one of the reasons why I brought it up in this series because I think it's a very, very interesting concept. Here's the idea. If you've mixed for even 3 seconds, you're aware that not only do you have faders to adjust the volume of your track so that you can balance your mix with volume, but you also have pan knobs. They can basically take your track, your vocal, your guitar, whatever you are mixing, and place it in the stereo field, left or right. Now, growing up learning this concept, studying music production, reading every book I could get my hands on, learning from other pros, what I was taught, at least for what I remember being taught, was to use the full spectrum of your panning. Typically, I've got a kick drum in the center, your vocals dead center, snare drum dead center, bass guitar dead center. I found that to be very common. And then you would place your guitars left and right. Maybe one pair of guitars is hard left and right, meaning at 100, at least in Pro Tools world. Maybe my other guitars would be, 48 on the left and 48 on the right, or anywhere in between. I would basically have different things panned every which way from right in the middle to a harmony maybe just a hair to the right. And my thought process was I'm placing every instrument somewhere in the field of space so that I can hear everything clearly. That's ultimately the goal. You want to hear every track clearly, and I want to take advantage of stereo mixing. Recently, I've been looking into the idea of LCR panning, which stands for left, center, and right panning. And the idea is like you can imagine, you only use the hard left, hard center, hard right as your panning options. Only 3 panning options so that every single track in your mix, in theory, has to fit in either dead center or left and right. The goal here is that in actuality, most people aren't listening to a stereo mix perfectly in the center, meaning they're not sitting in your studio, they're not sitting with their head right between the speakers at the perfect mix position so they can hear every minute pan detail that you did. The opposite's usually true. They're in a car, which means they're a little bit to the left or the right anyway. They're not in the center. Or it's playing in the background in their house, or it's playing even in headphones while they're at the gym or they're, mowing the yard. Who knows what they're doing, but there's other external noise happening, so they're not really aware of all the minute details in the mix. The goal is we want to hear everything in the mix well, especially the vocal, which is the main part of most modern music, the kick and snare, which keeping the beat, and the bass guitar, which is just your oomph and the backbone. You want to keep those in the middle, and you don't want anything to distract from that. So why not pan everything as far away from those as possible? Just pan things hard left and right. Let me play what I've got going on in this mix. Everything going on here at the final chorus is insane. A ton of guitar parts, keyboard parts, drums are doing their thing. What I want to do is get them out of the way of the vocals. Honestly, the only things that are in the middle are my vocals. I got a harmony here, maybe harmony here, vocal, and I've got kick and snare. And then bass. Everything else is panned left and right. My toms are hard left and right. My overheads are hard left and right. Keyboards, guitars. LCR panning, man, it's interesting and I'm really digging it. I think it's worth playing around with. Fight the weirdness of it. Honestly, for me, I'm always thinking I've got all these other pan places. Really, I should put them in there. But it really has opened up my mixes. it's exposed some balance issues in my mixes where all of a sudden a guitar part that I thought was sitting at the right volume, when I pan it hard left and right with everything else, I start to notice that it's sticking out like a sore thumb, and I dial in a better balance. Maybe the EQ is a little harsh, and then everything sits nicely. So, if anything else, it forces you to hear your mix in a different balance. And then, honestly, you're getting a lot of separation. You're using your complete stereo width by just moving things out of the way and leaving the middle for your main instruments like your vocal, some of your harmonies maybe, that nice kick and snare action keeping you in time. Experiment with it. You might dig it. I'm digging it. Again, this is Graham here from therecordingrevolution.com with 5 minutes to a better mix. We'll see you on the next video.